So as I'm driving to work, and don't worry, I'm not really going to continue to look at the phone or anything. I just want to give my reaction to Michigan beating Alabama. Phenomenal game, first up. I think we all can agree the setting that the game happened on was incredible. Being at the Rose Bowl, we all know that it is the granddaddy of them all. Just, you knew, even Herbstreit had said, we're in for a great finish, like going into halftime. And it was a great finish. Game goes into overtime. My opinion, Michigan played themselves into overtime because they should have won in regulation, and I can go into that a little bit later. But what a win by the Wolverines. To the SEC Nation, sorry for your loss. To Ohio State fans that said, what about Harbaugh's bowl record? How about you shut up? Because my thing I've always said is about the bowl games at this point. If you're a team that's like a Michigan, Ohio State, Bama, Georgia, whatever, like those big powerhouse teams, games outside of the playoffs that are bowls don't matter. They really don't. So if you wanted to throw Harbaugh's 0-2 record at the CFP before this game at me, I was like, you know what? You're right. He's 0-2. The first game, that was like, wow, it feels good to be here. Then last year against TCU, that one sucked. But this year, we overcame so much adversity, so much outside noise, so much. And, man, I'm happy about how this game played out for the Wolverines. Defensively, we start off phenomenal. Oh my gosh, were we playing phenomenal football. Offensively, we were actually doing a lot of stuff to mess with Alabama. Then the second half, we just went absolutely cold. And I was thinking, oh boy, here we go. But then, I mean, the missed extra point, the missed field goal. Like, we should have already had won 24-20 at that point. But we're down 20-13, chance to win with just over 4 minutes left. Sorry, chance to tie, excuse me. And then 4th and 2, what a call. I think a lot of coaches would have, in their own territory, would have punted that football. A lot of them would have. I'm not saying all of them, but I think a lot of coaches would have punted that football and said, I will have my 3 timeouts. Alabama will run the ball 3 plays. I'll get the ball back. Harbaugh said, no, we're going to go right now. And I think Chris Fowler said it best. He said, Michigan puts all the chips in the middle. I'm like, dang right they do. Dang right. They put all their chips in the middle, 4th and 2. Perfect play call. Gave Blake Corum wide open out of the backfield. Bad block downfield by Roman Wilson. But I was watching it. I was like, yeah, that was a block in the back for sure. it seemed like 6 flags came out of him right there, man. It was crazy. But I was like, we still got the first down. I'm fine with it. We were moving the ball anyways. Yes, that would have helped, but it also probably would have given Alabama more time. The biggest thing I had to say for Michigan is, what is up with the special teams? What is up? What happened? I mean, missed the field goal, fine. I can get that. But the botched extra point, the muffed punts, like, what are we doing? That cannot happen. My thing I've always said, you cannot give a team, and I think a lot of people say it, so I'm not going to say I'm the only one that says this. But you cannot give a team like Alabama free possessions. You cannot give them your mistakes. You just cannot do that. The muffed punt was huge. It was it set up a touchdown. Like, let's just say Michigan doesn't have the muffed punt, okay? We don't have that muffed punt. We don't have this stupid penalty by Ben Bredesen, who we had a first down, all of a sudden he hit somebody and just screwed up the whole play. We don't have those 2 penalties, or those 2 things happen. Michigan's probably up at least 16-3 at halftime. The defense was playing off the charts, and the offense was driving at that point when that penalty happened by Ben Bredesen. So we would probably have been up 16-3 to halftime, and it could have been a different game, right? Because then you would put Alabama more in a passing situation. Jalen Milroe, give him credit, but he's not. He made some good passes. I can see that, but he's not there yet. He obviously needs another year. Once he gets that next year of development at quarterback, man, Alabama's going to be really good. I mean, they always are. this was, I think if people would have seen if Michigan played Florida State, what we saw against Georgia, like Florida State versus Georgia, that game would not have happened, Michigan versus Florida State. I still think it would have been a blowout, probably like by at least over 20 points or so. Because obviously the Florida State players all would have been playing and not opting out to do it. Like, the opt-outs I get so annoyed with. Like, Florida State, don't you want to prove people wrong? But no, they were all in their feelings, and then they got destroyed by Georgia, so way to go. So, I think that game that the committee gave Michigan, because that NCAA really loves Jim Harbaugh. I think that the committee that they gave Michigan, or the game they gave Michigan, excuse me, I mean, that was just, you gave us Alabama. You gave us Alabama. And we took them down. The SEC's dominance this year is over. This year, it's over. There's no SEC that will win. And let's face it, this really is the future. This is the Big Ten. I know Washington technically is still Pac-12, but no, Washington's going to be Big Ten next year. So this is the Big Ten going at it, essentially. Both teams are in the Big Ten as of 2024, next year. And we're... Man, I'm just relishing this win, man. I love the effort by our defense. I loved how we played in the first half, especially. We were just getting after them. Oh man, it was such a great setting. And now we take on a Washington team that Michael Penix, dude. Oh my gosh, like that. I watched him last night. First of all, I don't know how. I mean, I do know how, but Texas should not have had a chance to score that drive at the end. But they did, man. They still had a chance to win. I'm like thinking, oh my God, it's going to be Texas too. Wow. And then they didn't make it. But Washington, Michael Penix, I swear, like, that guy has just pinpoint accuracy. And I'm very curious to see how Michigan game plans for him. Now, I kind of look at this and think, this kind of matchup reminds me of 2022 Ohio State, at Ohio State. You know, high-powered passing offense. I think the rush defense for Ohio State that year was supposed to be better than Washington's is, so could be Michigan's favor that year, or this year when coming up, where Michigan does a better job running the football. But you know, we'll see. We'll see how this all plays out. I'm looking forward to the game. You know, I just want to say one last thing. Michigan has been through so much this year, okay? And people can say, well, that was brought on by them. It wasn't brought on by the players, all right? They didn't bring it on them. This is a player-led team. Anything that you throw at them, they just come back stronger. It's like the culture. You can't find, in my opinion, you cannot find a college football culture that is stronger than what Michigan has. I don't care. Throw what you want at me. The culture in college football is as strong as ever at Michigan. It is probably the best culture you'll have in college football. People can say, well, that's not true. Are you sure about that? Are you sure? How many players are going to transfer out that are starters? And I know that may not be a good argument, but that the culture, you cannot find a culture. I don't think that teams that go through what Michigan's went through, Harbaugh not there for 6 games, right? Like, you cannot find a team that comes together than this. And they were given the ultimate test. The committee was like, okay, we don't really like Jim that much. We're going to give you Alabama. And one more thing. Everyone that laughed at the players reacting the way they did, I've always said this. You listen to my show. I said, I think it was more of, like, I'm glad they reacted that way, but I think it was more of they were also in shock that Florida State didn't make it. Florida State was undefeated Power 5, and we're all kind of thinking they should probably be in, but Alabama won against Georgia, so the committee put them in. So I think it was a mix of shock there of Florida State not getting in, and I'm glad. If the players were shocked to see Alabama and they were like, oh, God, it's Alabama, good. It pushed them. I would rather them react that way to say, oh, geez, man, it's not going to be easy. Fantastic. You don't want to go and just walk through a team like that. You want to earn it, and they did. Go Blue. Let's take on Washington, man. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be an epic game. Can't wait to see it. Go Blue. All the haters, enjoy watching.